this week we're going to have the topic Polynomial Equations. This is Mathematics 10, Week 8. A polynomial equation is a special kind of algebraic equation where each term is a constant, a variable or product of constants and variables raised to whole number exponents. The largest exponent n denotes the degree of the polynomials. From the previous activity, you defined which equations are polynomial and which are not. Here under are the answers and explanations. So we have examples of polynomial equations. So we have in here 3x to the fourth plus 5x minus 3 equals 0. 2x to the fourth plus 2x cubed minus 6x plus 12 equals 0. X to the fifth minus 32 equals 0. X squared minus 1/4 equals 0. 5x cubed plus 4x to the ninth minus x cubed plus square root of 3 equals 0. X minus 3 times x squared minus 4x equals 0. X times x minus 2 times 3x plus 5 equals 0. So in here we have all positive exponents. Not polynomial equation. So we have x cubed minus 6x raised to negative 2 minus x minus 1 equals 0. In here we have negative 6x raised to negative 2 and we have a negative exponent. That's why this is not a polynomial equation. Another thing is x squared plus square root of x minus 2 equals 0. So in here we have square root of x, wherein there is a variable in the radical sign. Then, let's have number 8. X cubed minus 2 over x plus 3 equals 0. So in here, the variable is in the denominator. That is why number 8 is not a polynomial equation. Remember that polynomial where a is real number and a sub n is not 0 and n is a positive integer. So in here, we're just going to identify each equation if that is a polynomial or not. If that is a polynomial, we're going to write p. If that is not, we're going to write np. Let's have number 1. We have 3x to the fourth plus 5x minus 3 equals 0. So in here, we don't have any negative exponent as well as a variable as the denominator. So our exponents are all positive. That is why number 1 is a polynomial. Number 2, we have 2x to the fourth plus 2x cubed minus 6x plus 12 equals 0. All positive exponents. So therefore, this is a polynomial. Number 3, we have x cubed minus 6x raised to negative 2 minus x minus 1 equals 0. So, if ever you have seen negative 6x raised to negative 2, negative 2 as an exponent of the variable x is a negative. That is why this is not a polynomial. Number 4, x to the fifth minus 32 equals 0. So this one is a polynomial. Number 5, x squared minus 1/4 equals 0. So the exponent in here is a positive. That is why this is a polynomial. Number 6, x squared plus square root of x minus 2 equals 0. So the variable x is inside the radical sign. That is why number 6 is not a polynomial. Number 7, 5x cubed plus 4x to the 9 minus x cubed plus square root of 3 equals 0. So the exponents in here are positive. That is why number 7 is a polynomial. Number 8, x cubed minus 2 over x plus 3 equals 0. So in this term, we have a negative 2 over x. So our variable is a denominator. That is why number 8 is not a polynomial. Number 9, x minus 3 times x squared minus 4x equals 0. So all positive exponents. So this is a polynomial as well. Number 10, so we have x times x minus 2 times 3x plus 5 equals 0. another polynomial since we have positive exponents. The next in here, so we have a question. How you will know if the equation is a polynomial equation? So we are going to have polynomial or sums and differences of polynomial terms. So if we have a polynomial term, no, we must have a whole number powers, no. So meaning to say, if we have no power of 1, so which is normally written as x, so that is also a whole number power. A plain number, no, can also be a polynomial term, and the plain number is said to be your constant. No? So in particular, for an expression to be a polynomial term, wherein you have a polynomial equation, it must contain no square roots of variables, no fractional or negative powers on the variables, and no variables in the denominators of fractions. So, ibig sabihin, titingnan lang natin na dapat lahat ay positive ang exponent ng variable. At kung ito ay merong square root, no, nasa radical sign ang variable, o kaya ay may negative ang exponent, o kaya ay fractional exponent, at ang variable ay denominator, ito ay mga indikasyon na ang given is not a polynomial equation. So, what are the restrictions in determining if the given equation is a polynomial? So, number 1, we have 2x squared plus square root of x. So, x cannot be inside a radical. Number 2, we have 3x cubed plus 4x raised to negative 2 plus 3. So, in here, 4x raised to negative 2 is a negative exponent, and that is not allowed. Number 3, so we have 8x squared minus 2 over x. So, our x in here is in the denominator, so it cannot be. Then, we have 4 raised to x plus 3, wherein x cannot be an exponent. The last one, we have 5x raised to 1 over 3 plus 3x squared minus 2. So, our exponent in here cannot be a fraction. So, these are the restrictions in determining if the given equation is a polynomial or not. So, let's have the example. 4x squared plus 3x minus 7. So, these are the terms. So, we have 4x squared, 3x, and negative 7. So, we have terms. So, what is the leading term? So, the leading term is 4x squared, and the constant term is 7. So, notice that exponent, that is the powers on each of the three terms. No? The first term has an exponent of 2. The second term has understood exponent of 1. No? And the last term doesn't have the any variable at all. So, exponents aren't an issue. Because there is no variable in the last term, its value never changes, and that is what you call constant term. Notice also the powers on the term stated with the largest, so being the 2 on the first term, and count them down from there. So, we have x squared, x, and then we have constant. So, another word for power or exponent is order. So, when the terms are written, so the powers on the variables go from highest to lowest, this is written in what you call descending order. So, polynomials are usually written in descending order, with the constant term coming at the tail end or the last. No? Okay, so we have in here descending order. So, in here, we have the first term in the polynomial. When the polynomial is written in descending order, is also the term with the biggest exponent, and that is the what you call leading term. So, in here, the leading term is 4x squared. If the variable in a term is multiplied by a number, then this number is the what you call coefficient, or the numerical coefficient of the term. The coefficient of the leading term, which is 4x squared, is 4. Therefore, 4 is our leading coefficient. If there is no number multiplied on the variable portion of a term, then it is technically said to be coefficient of the term is 1. So let's have in here, this example. So the exponent on the variable portion of the term tells you the degree. Okay. So for instance, the power on the variable x in the leading term in the above polynomial, so we have 4x squared. So we have 2. Therefore, this is the second degree. This is the highest exponent. If this is the highest exponent, therefore, this is said to be your degree. No? Again, the highest exponent is your degree. Okay. So if this is 2, therefore, the degree of this polynomial equation is 2. So we have in here the name using degree for the polynomial. No? So if we have 5, this is your constant, so we don't have any variable. So if we have x plus 1, the highest exponent is 1. Therefore, the degree is 1, and this is a linear. No? This one is 4x squared, so the highest exponent is 2. Therefore, the degree is 2, and this is said to be your quadratic. Then we have 4x cubed minus 2x squared plus x. The highest exponent is 3. That is why this is your degree 3, and this is said to be cubic. Then we have 2x to the 4th plus 5x squared. So the highest exponent in here is 4, and that is your degree 4, and this is said to be quartic. Another example, we have negative x to the 5th plus 4x squared plus 2x plus 1. So the highest exponent we have is 5. Therefore, your degree is 5, and this is said to be quintic. So these are base the name using the degree. Okay. So we have in here learning class 2. So we have the polynomial equation in here. You need to write the polynomial equation in descending order, meaning to say, pinakamataas na exponent pababa hanggang constant kung meron. Then we have the degree. The degree is the highest exponent on the given polynomial equation. Then we have the leading coefficient. That is the numerical coefficient of the leading term. Then we have the constant term. Okay, let's have number 1. So we have negative 4x cubed minus 15x plus 6x plus 7x to the 5th equals 0. So for the descending order, so we have 7x to the 5th minus 4x cubed minus 15x plus 6 equals 0. So the degree, the leading term that we have in here is 7x to the 5th. So in here, we have 5 as our highest exponent. Therefore, this is our degree. In the leading term wherein we have 7x to the 5th, the numerical coefficient, which is the leading term, leading coefficient is said to be 7. And the constant term without any variable is 6. Let's have number 2. We have negative 11 plus x to the 4th minus 3x squared equals 0. So in descending order, so we have x to the 4th minus 3x squared minus 11 equals 0. So in here, our leading term is x to the 4th. The highest exponent is 4. Therefore, that is our degree. The numerical coefficient of our leading term is 1. That is why it is our leading coefficient, 1. And our constant term, which is a number without any variable, is a negative 11. So our constant term is negative 11. So let's have number 3. 8x cubed plus x to the 6th minus 6x to the 4th plus 1 equals 0. So in here in descending order, so we have x raised to the 6th power minus 6x to the 4th plus 8x cubed plus 1 equals 0. So our leading term is x to the 6th. That is why the highest exponent is 6, and that is our degree. In the leading term x to the 6th, the leading coefficient is 1, and our constant term is 1. Okay, so let's have number 4. X times 5x cubed plus 7 equals 0. So we're going to evaluate the expression or the equation before we arrange the equation in descending order. So we're going to multiply x times 5x cubed, which is 5x to the fourth. X times 7 is 7x. So our descending order polynomial equation is 5x to the fourth plus 7x equals 0. So our leading term is 5x to the fourth. And the highest exponent is 4. That is why we have 4 as our degree. The numerical coefficient of our leading term, that is 5x to the fourth, is 5. So our leading coefficient is 5. We don't have any constant term. That is why our constant term is 0.